the ZTE Axon 30 mobile phone. Will this bad boy, all the way from Hong Kong, live up to the hype and expectations surrounding the under-display, second generation under-display camera? Will it be easy to detect on the screen, or will it be harder to notice than a pensioner in 2021? Let's find out. So here is the ZTE Axon 30, which by the way came with a separate UK wall charger. I can only assume that inside this box is a US or European adapter, and a tempered glass screen protector. So thank you, ZTE. Apple, take note, not just one charger included with this purchase, but two. So in the box, which is packaged very nicely, is the phone itself, measuring at 6.92 inches. Wow. Let's pop that to the side just now because I'm intrigued to see the charger that's included. We also get our usual manual, user guide, and oh yes, we know what's in here, folks. There it is, the condom case. Hold on though, this is a beefy manual. I'll be sure to never read that ever. So, as mentioned, oh, it's a hard condom case. Feels shite. Right, let's get to the other boxes. So in here is, as suspected, it's a shame this isn't going to work for me because this is a full 65 watt. I can't imagine this one is going to be 65 watt. It should be though. Let me just check. Oh no, yeah, 65 watt charging. That's good. So that's the charger. In here must be the USB-C to C cable. Yes. Okay, and that seems to be it. Slightly, oh, hold on, hold the phone. That's not it. There is a dongle. There is a dongle. Excellent. So, phone, charger that I'll never be able to use. Anyone want to buy a charger? USB-C cable, blah blah blah, and obviously the phone. So let's see if it has any juice inside. The weight of this phone. And being someone with a visual impairment, I always go for the big Buna mobile phones. So the largest you can. Oh, first thing I've noticed already. Hopefully you can pick this up. This slider, or this, not a slider actually, it's just a power button. The power button, like OnePlus do, is knurled. Oh, I like that. And yes, there is juice in this phone. So, that's it for the unboxing. I'll send it back over to me to tell you more about the phone. So you've seen the unboxing, now let's talk specs. First up, I have to talk about the screen, the display. 6.92 inches. Yes, that's just a ball hair off of 7 inches. It's effectively almost an iPad mini in your hand. I love it. Having an eye condition, the bigger screen is perfect for me. Now when you couple that bigger screen with 120Hz refresh rate, comes at 60 Hz out the box, but you just adjust that in the settings. Buttery smooth, I hate that term. Hear it too many times, but it's very smooth. Also, it's an AMOLED Full HD screen, not Quad HD, but Full HD. So for consuming content like these great average dad videos, absolutely amazing. whatsoever, unless you include Apple Arcade. I'm not going to count that. I am back to console gaming. My last console, as you can see up here, was a PS3 released in 2006, which is now 15 years ago. Now, to go along with the display, while you're consuming content, what you really need is some good sound. Now, with the 12 Pro Max and most other flagship phones, in fact, mid-range to flagship phones, you're getting stereo speakers, something that the Axon has not got. It's a mono speaker, bottom firing, disappointing. While the speaker itself is actually pretty good for a mono, it's lacking. You can clearly see that you're missing that stereo sound. However, nowadays, let's be honest, consuming content and traveling, in the gym, wherever you're listening to music, or watching movies, or your favourite TV programme, you've probably got a pair of Bluetooth headphones in, which again, something you're going to need because there's no 3.5mm headphone jack. So yeah, cameras. This is not a comparison video between the Axon 30 and the 12 Pro Max. It just so happens that these are the two phones I have at the moment. So please, you cannot compare these as one is 3 times the price of the other. However, I'm pleasantly surprised that that rear 64 megapixel wide camera angle gets perfectly passable and acceptable photos, as you can see here. Side by side to the 12 Pro Max, portrait, ultra wide, and even some video, so take a look. So this is the video, audio and visual quality using the ZTE Axon 30. I think that's the right title. Yeah. What do we think? And this is the quality of the audio and visual on the trusty old iPhone 12 Pro Max. So along with the 64 megapixel camera, there are 3 other lenses in there. One's a depth sensor, one's a macro lens, and one's an ultra wide. I'm not the biggest fan of using macro. The depth sensor helps with portrait modes, but again, if you look at the comparison between the 12 Pro Max, nothing's coming close to the portraits you get from that phone. But still perfectly acceptable for the price. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but price, £429 in the UK, $499 in the US. Very, very reasonably priced for what you're getting. Now, I've saved the best kind of feature for last as far as the hardware, and that's its biggest selling point. The thing that MKBHD talked about in his most recent video, and it's the thing that makes this phone stand out just that bit more, not just the 7-inch screen. It's the front-facing under-display camera. Now, I defy anybody to be able to see where the camera is. Now, obviously, we all know it's in the center of the top of the screen, but you cannot see it. You can see, look at any images of this phone, video, it is so hard to detect the 2nd generation under display camera. The first one was trash. It was 200 megapixels, or 200 pixels, sorry, in the small square. Now it's doubled to 400 and it makes a vast difference. There's no longer like those dead kind of grey pixels that you see. In certain angles with certain light you can still see it, but when consuming content, when just reading on the phone, you'll never notice it. And to have an uninterrupted display is something I've not experienced ever, actually. Recently, I believe it's only the ZTE and the Samsung that Fold 3 that have got the under display front facing camera, and I never owned either of those, so for the first time ever, I don't have to deal with that awful, horrific iPhone notch. So I'm enjoying that. That's a ZTE in a nutshell. In my opinion, a good buy. I went for the 128 gigabyte, 8 gigabyte RAM memory, and all of the phones come with a Snapdragon 870 chip, which is pretty much flagship. It's the next one down from the AAA chip. So more than fast enough to deal with any gaming or demanding tasks. You can keep numerous apps and lock numerous apps up. Sticking with the software, just before I let you go, it's MyOS from ZTE. It's Android 11 fresh out the box with their skin, and their skin is super basic, which I love. They've not tried to do anything too fancy. They're just made things, to be honest, again, I have an eye condition, so things are a bit bigger, bolder. I really like that. I like the colour schemes they use. I love the live wallpapers that you can choose from as well. So on the lock screen, you have an option, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, so you can just change through loads of live wallpapers straight from the lock screen. Really like that. There's lots of security functions. It does have Face ID. I was watching, I think it was Flossie Carter, and he said it didn't have Face Unlock. It does have Face Unlock. It has fingerprint. It has pattern, it has pin, it's got everything. As I say, this phone has everything you could ever need, other than wireless charging, which I don't use. I'm a big proponent, like Mr. Who's the Boss, I'm a big proponent of just charging a phone via the cable. For me, it helps with battery life. Case in point, my iPhone is 1 year old now, and it's still at 100% battery health. And I use that phone all the time. Fairly heavy user. So it's not got wireless charging, it's not got an IP water resistance or dust resistance rating, so I wouldn't go swimming with this phone. I wouldn't even go near a puddle with this phone, to be honest. I think there's going to be water getting in any slight crack here, so I wouldn't do that. Other things it's missing is, as mentioned already, the second speaker for stereo audio. Other than that, I mean, as I say, close to 7 inches of glorious AMOLED HD screen. Love it. If you've got any questions about the phone, you know what to do, comment down below. I'll be back very soon with new Apple products, because in case you didn't hear, Apple have kind of had an event recently. Just watching the Waveform podcast as well. Shout out to MKBHD. I know you watch all my videos, Marquez, so thanks for that. Yeah, and for those that actually watch my videos, thank you. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Take care.